try to block every shot, and I'm gonna be physical with you the whole game. You know Stu gonna be physical with you. When you think of the Pistons, you think of just hard work and just gritty basketball. That's just the identity you gotta have when you put on that jersey.
I'm not your average breed of canine. Not a good dog, I'm bad boy for life. I set the tone, don't care about no tick. Let it be known, I get my respect. Come in the lane and see I don't bluff. If you retaliate, that's on ya. Talking pundits, I hear you're ashamed. Talking that chop, you must run this way. Tryna tell ya, look the dog palm, mess around, find out, Tryna tell ya, look the dog palm, mess around, find out, For some barbecue sauce, boy, you better cough a hill, cause I'm like that. When you're ready for some barbecue sauce, boy, you better cough a hill, cause I'm like that. The dog palm, mess around, find out. Detroit basketball. Yes, sir. Everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Downtown Deuce Show. Glad to have you guys all here. This is going to be a very entertaining show, man. I'm looking forward to really getting into some good things here with you guys. Turn that off. We don't even need that right now. But, guys, awesome game, man. Awesome game from our Pistons tonight. I'm really looking forward to seeing where we go from here. A lot of things to get to. A lot of things to get to in this game, man. The first thing being, for me personally, just, man, I don't even know where to start, guys. I don't even know where to start. There's so many things that we got to get to, so many things we're going to cover. Let's just start with the initial thoughts, right? Initial thoughts, man. This game was definitely something that was a frustrating game, to be honest, to start with. This game was very, very frustrating, at least for me, to start coming off of last game. I felt that the Pistons really should have came out of this game and just tried to really put this game away early, right? But they weren't able to do that. You know, it definitely was a little bit harder for the Pistons to really take control of this game, which I was, not really too encouraged by, but they got it together, right? They got it together in the second half, and that's what's most important. They took care of business, and that's all you really can ask for. Just take care of business, get it done, right? So that's pretty much it for my initial thoughts. But definitely proud of this team for bouncing back. So let's start there, right? Pistons bounced back tonight. They avenged their loss to the Mavs with the win tonight against the Pelicans. They win 136-130, and they've now won 40 games on the regular season. Guys, 40 games. 40 games, guys. Who would have thought coming into the season that with 10 games to go, the Pistons would have won 40 basketball games? I know I didn't. I know I definitely did not. I don't know about you guys, but it's a reality right now. This is the reality right now. The Pistons have not won 40 games since 2019. 2019, guys. It's been 6 years since we've won 40 games in the regular season. That was when we had Blake Griffin, as you guys can see on the screen, Andre Drummond, and all the guys, right? And so for us to eclipse that number with 10 games to go, as you guys can see, we won 41 that season, 500 record. We're going to definitely surpass that this year, right? So it's just very encouraging to see where this team is going and to see the future that this team really does possess. It's very, very bright for this team, man. So I wanted to start there with that accomplishment. And it's going to be a lot of fun heading into the playoffs. But as far as the Pistons are concerned, they have 6 of the last 10 games at home. Right, which is, I don't know if that's a good thing or not, because the Pistons have been road warriors this season. They've got more road wins than home wins, right? But hopefully getting back home consistently can kind of get them into a good rhythm going into the playoffs. And that's really what's important. As far as injuries, we had some tonight. TSJ is in a walking boot after spraining his ankle against the Mavs last game. There is not a timetable for his return as of right now, so we got to wait and see. And then Cade did not play tonight. He was a late scratch. He had calf soreness, and I think this really was a great opportunity for him to just get some rest, because we need Cade as fresh as possible going into the playoffs, right? So for us to be able to rest him in a win, I don't know how legit the calf soreness was. I think he was just getting getting some rest, some much needed rest. I don't have a problem with that at all. And to be able to do that in a win, I think was very, very important. But I think it was a late scratch because I think the Pistons probably heard that Zion wasn't playing. So they probably figured, well, we could probably still get a win with Cade, because them without Zion versus us without Cade and THJ and Jaden, we're still better. We're not in the show. The Pistons are the better team. So that was good to be able to get a win with Cade being out, right? And I imagine Cade will probably be back next game, maybe a game after, something after that. But I don't foresee him being out too long. And like I mentioned, the Pelicans, they're missing Zion. He didn't play tonight. So this was a very winnable game without both THJ and Cade, and they got the W. So tonight with that, Schroeder started in Cade's place tonight, and Malik Beasley started in place of THJ. And those two guys being out really presented opportunities for other guys on this team to get some playing time, right? And we'll get to those guys later and talk about how they were able to impact this game. So before I get into that, though, I want to give a shout out to Mr. Gregory Kelser, right? Greg Kelser, man, he hosts these basketball camps every year for the youth, for the boys and girls ages 7 to 17. He does these camps and he teaches them the game of basketball, the fundamentals, but he also goes into teaching them about life. And that's really important, right? Just life skills and just, good things to live by, just, good qualities to have in yourself as a person and on the basketball court. So I want to give Greg a shout out because he really does give back to the community on a regular basis. And any of you guys have kids between those ages, definitely check them out. The info's at the bottom. Go to the website, gregorykelser.com/basketball, or just call the number 248-981-0498 for more information. So shout out to Greg Kelser for always giving back and continuing to do so. All right, man. Now let's go ahead and get into this basketball game. Initial thoughts, right? So for me, coming into this game, I had to think about the fact that the Pistons only had six. They had 6 fast break points against the Mavericks last game. They're not going to win many games with 6 fast break points, right? That's because their style of play is turning teams over and getting out and running in transition. That's how they get the bulk of their points, right? We know the half court game is more so pick and roll, but in transition, they want to get out and run all the time. Turn you over, offense or defense to offense, defense to offense. And so last game, they only had 6 points in transition. So this game was much better, much better. And last game, they outscored the Pelicans 23-4 in the fast break points. And this game was much better as well. So that was the key to the game. It wasn't much better this game because, the Pelicans probably saw that the same thing happened and tried to stop that. And they tried to do that. But, Pistons had more than 6. So they were able to really get to who they are more so than last time or than last game against the Mavericks and get back to who they are. And that's important. So I did pay attention to that, and that did help them when it comes to this game. But that was not the biggest thing. But we're going to start with the starters for tonight's game. So let's start with Dennis Schroeder. Let's start with Schroeder and see what he gave us tonight in this game. So Schroeder had a cool 16 points. He had 5 assists. He had 1 rebound. He had 2 steals, 1 turnover on 4 of 12 shooting, 1 of 5 from 3, 7 for 8 from the free throw line in 35 minutes. So like I mentioned, Schroeder tonight started in place of Cade, and he filled in admirably, right? But we knew coming into this game that it was going to take the whole team, right? Even when Cade is on the floor, we still want it to be a team effort. It wouldn't have the offense spread out. We don't want Cade having to score 35 every night. That's not what we want, right? We want that very balanced offensively and everybody, step up defensively and strap up and play D. And so tonight, Schroeder was solid. He didn't shoot great. Only shot about 30% from the field. He didn't shoot well from 3, about 25% from 3 or 20% from 3. But once again, like last game, he made his free throws. The last few games, even as a whole, he's a good free throw shooter, right? So even if he's not shooting the ball well, if he can identify early he's not shooting the ball well, he's going to try to get downhill and get to the free throw line using his quickness. And tonight he did the same thing. So he was solid. He only had 1 turnover. He had 5 assists. So that's a great ratio. 5-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. That's great. He always has, he pretty much does take care of the basketball pretty solid. Like the last few games, he's had very low turnover games, right? Even if his assists weren't crazy high, he's always taking care of the basketball. So that's a good thing. When it comes to him and JD, though, because I was watching the dynamic between him and JD, with him starting with JD now, I was watching the pick and roll, right? And it didn't look as fluid naturally as it does with Cade and Jalen, because they always play together, right? They always start the game together. They always, play together. So they have that rhythm. And it looked like tonight, Schroeder didn't have that same chemistry with JD. He didn't have the same rhythm. He saw a few passes out of pick and roll, weren't on time, weren't on target, because shooters used to JD, or I'm sorry, not JD, but Stu. Shooters used to play with Stu, who's a little bit slower, but sets better screens moving out of the pick and roll. So his timing with JD is a little bit different. And I saw that affect him a little bit tonight. And it's just going to take reps. It's going to take time because those guys don't play together. But I'm glad that happened, because in the playoffs, you may have to do that. It may be situations when you're not playing with your normal unit because you got guys in foul trouble or different things. Guys are out of sync. So you may have to play with guys you don't normally play with. And I thought tonight was a good opportunity for guys to get some reps in with players who they don't usually play with, so they can get a rhythm with those guys as well, not just the guys they play with the starters or with the bench guys. So I thought that was good. But overall, Shooter was solid. He was solid. Okay, let's go to Malik Beasley, and then we'll look at some comments. So tonight, Beasley had 13 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, on 4 for 11 shooting, 4 for 6 from the free throw line, in 29 minutes. So Beasley was solid. He knocked down shots. I do want to give him credit, first of all, for running the pick and roll with JD. I talked about Shooter, but also Bees did some pick and roll action with JD as well. You know, we mentioned K was out, so whenever JD was in the game, you got to have him as a role threat. So Beasley filled in admirably doing that. He had a nice drop passes for JD for some nice finishes. Impact play. It was good to see Beasley doing things outside of just shooting the basketball, right? Last game, we talked about his defense. And it wasn't great as far as staying in front of guys, but it wasn't for lack of trying. You saw he was gassed. He was splitting up a storm. So it's just good to see all of our guys trying to stretch out a little bit and just do more when necessary when our guys are out. And that's why having a deep team, once again, is important, because you can have guys step up into those roles and fill in, and you can still get wins in the process. And that's what happened tonight. So Bees was solid. You know, he still struggles on defense. He's not a really good defender, but he, like I said, he does try. And more importantly, he continues to make plays outside of just shooting the basketball. Like I said, 4 boards, 2 assists, 1 steal. So he's still impacting the game in a positive way. So that's good to see from him as well. All right, let's check some comments and we'll get back to it. Zion had a late night at Legends last night. This morning, man, you can't get caught at Legends, man. If you were a road team, it's tough. All right, I wanted Klitman to play. Yeah, me too. I did too, but I think it was too tight of a game. And because he hasn't gotten enough reps with his team, I don't think it was a good idea to just throw him out there. You know, guys like Ron Holland and even Sasser, who have played more meaningful minutes, you know, Fontecchio, those guys who have played, have a rhythm as far as their time and when they come into the game, things like that. I think that's why you didn't see a guy like Klitman, because he just has not had enough reps with either unit. And that's not taking anything away from his ability. You just got to have a camaraderie and a chemistry with the teammates. He doesn't have that yet because he spent so much time with the Motor City Crews, right? So it wouldn't be fair to him to throw him in that situation and expect him to just transition seamlessly and to be able to make an impact in a positive way. So I think in time we will see more Bobby Klitman, just not yet, especially with the playoffs coming. All right, a few more comments and then we will get back to it. Happy to see Marcus. Yes, Derek, we are definitely going to talk about Marcus Sasser tonight. And we're going to talk about this guy too, Nicky, Ron Holland. Both of those guys were very, very good tonight. Very, very good tonight. And you're right, Derek. Dennis does have better community. That's exactly right. And why is that? Because he plays more with him, right? We talked about the uniformity of this team, right? The starting unit and the bench unit play very similarly. You don't really see our offensive schemes built around individual players to where when the bench comes in, you got to play differently because you don't have the same kind of guys. This team isn't built like that. This team is built uniform, right? You have guys, whether starting or bench guys, doing the same thing, running the same kind of offense, picking a roll in half court, getting out transitional defense or in offense. So like you're seeing this team do similar things, and that's why I think it was important, Derek, for guys like Shooter to play with guys like JD to get those reps, not just to be exclusively tied and comfortable with your unit only, with your big only. That's good, but having that chemistry across the board from 1 to 12, 1 to 15, where regardless of who's on the court, you guys can make plays together because you've played together. That's important too. So I was glad to see that happened tonight. All right, a few more and then we'll get back to it. Let's see. THJ should rest against the Spurs too. Yeah, I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that either. I definitely think he should take his time getting back, and Cade. You know, the most important thing is the playoffs right now. So whatever that means, just make sure that these guys are fresh for that time. Sasser made some hay with this. Yes, he absolutely did. We're going to get to that too. Sasser's making the most. Yeah, you guys are on it. You guys are really happy with Sasser tonight and Ron, and understandably so. We're going to get to both of those guys. Sasser also defends well. Yes, he does, Cliff. I'd like to see Simone Limited. Okay, we'll get to that too. We'll cover that too. One more. I thought Rob would need 10 to 15 extra points to start giving guys fits, but he seems stronger already. Yeah, Ryan is way ahead of schedule, Organic. He's way ahead of schedule, man. The way I say it all the time. I said this months ago, like back in January, at that time, before he's gotten even as good as he is now. I was saying back in January, the way he's looking, I was saying then, the way he looks, I was hoping to see by the end of the season. And that was in January. But even January, he was looking like a very, very good rookie, like a top 5 rookie of the year candidate back in January. And he's gotten so much better since then. But the point is he's ahead of schedule. And he's been ahead of schedule since he stepped foot on the NBA court. He's just that good. He's very, very good, man. He's going to be a very, very good player. Very good player. I have a lot to say about him later. All right. One more, Devin. Sasser plays good. I noticed that too. We can't do that all the time because that's a very small backcourt. So in spots when it allows, when you're playing against teams that don't have offensive, fire-powered backcourts and things like that, maybe you can do it. But in most times you won't be able to do that. But I think they made good use of it tonight with Cade being out and with THJ being out. So you're right. They do play together offensively. But the defensive side is what I worry about if you got to play them for longer than just a few minutes. Can you tell us who you think he'd replace in the starting lineup? Organic, are you referring to Ron? If so, I'm glad you brought that up because we're going to talk about that too. All right. So give me a confirmation on that, Organic, and then we'll go from there. Let's get back to the box score. So we did Schroeder and we did Beasley. Now let's go ahead and go to Asar Thompson, guys. Let's have a conversation. Asar, Tasmanian Thompson, as I call him. Tasmanian Thompson. Guys, Asar is struggling right now. Right? He's struggling right now. He had what did he have? He had 3 first quarter fouls. It was like 2 fouls in the first couple minutes. He had fouls, right? And a lot of his fouling has nothing to do, guys, with him being out of position. I've noticed that. A lot of his fouls he's in good position. It's not like he's caught out of position and now he's got to swipe because he doesn't want to give up an easy shot. He's just not being disciplined defensively. On one possession, right, on one defensive possession, he moved his feet and stayed in front of, I think it was Jose Alvarado. He stayed in front and he cut his driving lane off. But instead of trying to just make him pass the ball, he tried to swipe at the ball, get the steal, and he fouled him, right? You got to be more disciplined. And I think that was after he already had 1 foul. So when you have 1 foul in the first quarter, you have to adjust. You got to play disciplined. You can't afford to get your second foul because most times, in most cases, especially when you don't have deep teams, we do. But when you don't have a deep team, when you get your first foul, you got to play soft. And by soft, I mean you can't play aggressive. You can't play physical because you don't know what the ref's going to call. You got to make sure you can't give them reason to call anything, which often makes you a liability oftentimes when you're on the court because if you can't defend while you're out there, right? But even though he was out there, JB left him out there. He got his first foul. He picked up a second one. He shouldn't, that one shouldn't even have been a foul. He shouldn't have fouled him, right? It was just a bad foul. You're swiping down. You're asking to get the foul called on you. The refs are watching you, right? So, but even after that, JB still left him in there. He left him in there. And then he picked up another foul. So he's struggling right now. He has to work on that discipline, man. He has to be more disciplined. Because that's the thing. When he's disciplined, guys, he's a clamper. Like he's a defensive clamper when he's disciplined. But when he's not, he just gets in unnecessary foul trouble. Unnecessarily. Like, you just can't afford to do that. You got to make the adjustment after you got to understand time and score, right? In this case, not score, but more so fouls. Time and fouls. You can't have more than 2 fouls in the first quarter. When you get number 2, you gotta sit down. In the second quarter, when you get number 3, you got to sit down. In the third quarter, when you get number 4, you got to sit down, right? So he has to understand that. But I will say this, and to his credit, he did not pick up a 4th foul because JB left him in there. JB left him. I believe he left him in there in the third quarter. In the first quarter with 3 fouls, and he didn't pick up his 4th. He played solid defense throughout the first half and did not pick up that 4th foul. When he had 3 from that point in the first quarter, early in the first quarter when he had 3 fouls, to the end of the half, he did not pick up another foul. So that's good. He's got to do that earlier, though. He's got to make that adjustment earlier, right? So he doesn't pick up that 3rd foul. But to his credit, he didn't pick it up. But I can't give him too much credit because after he did that, starting the third quarter, he picked up his 4th, just like that, and had to sit down again. So he made himself available for the second half, only to go sit right back down with 4 fouls. He had to sit down for most of the game after that. So listen, guys, I want to say this too. Before I go any further with Deshaun Thompson, I gotta say this. Oh, my guy Keenan popped on. Oh shoot.
What you in here blabbering about?
Man, bruh. I got a lot to say, man. So look, before I go any further, look, I'm talking about Asar, right? So I'm not panicking. I'm not saying Asar needs to be traded like a lot of these crazy people are saying. I'm not saying anything like that. But he has to be better. He has to be better. Twitter. I saw it on Twitter, bro. Saw it on Twitter. Asar needs to be moved. He's not the star that everybody thought he was going to be. And listen, man, that's why I wanted to come on here and preface my comments by saying I'm not on that train. I said on Twitter, I'm not on that train, bro. I'm not on that train. However, there are a lot of holes in his game that he needs to work on and improve. Your thoughts on Asar Thompson? Since we got the special, y'all dropped some fire emojis for Kane. I didn't even know he's coming on. You caught me. You sneaky caught me. Go ahead.
I can't even believe I'm finna make this comment.
Mm-hmm.
Asar's in year 2.
Yes.
And he's getting a little bit more playing time.
Mm-hmm.
But when we drafted Asar, I could have sworn the plan was to let him develop down the line.
I thought that was a plan too. I don't know. I could be wrong.
I don't know where this amnesia comes from with the Pistons fan base for some reason.
I don't know, bro. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's you know what it is? It's just lack of patience. It's lack of patience. One game to the next, blood pressure's like this.
Some people, they just like to talk, bro. Let's be honest about it. Some
No,
people,
you're right.
they run out of topics. They're uninteresting, and they just have to say stuff. That's just what it is.
Yeah, that's true.
It's nonsense. It's absolute nonsense, bro. What are we even talking about right now?
Yeah.
Listen, he does need to clean up some things.
Absolutely.
He does need to get better at some things. I've mentioned all season long that he needs to work on his dribbling. When he's on a fast break and he's got somebody in front of him, he loses his dribble. He needs to work on that. Things he needs to work on.
Yep.
But the agreement was when we drafted him, he was a player that's going to develop into eventually an all-star type player.
Yep.
It's not going to be in the second year of his career.
Right. And he missed 8 months with a blood clot.
Right. Like,
people forget that.
This is truly, really, really still his part of it. It's just like Cade. You know what I'm saying? When Cade missed some time his first couple of years, you know what I'm saying? It's just, man, let's just be patient.
Bro, what are they saying about Jaden right now? Whenever somebody, that's what I'm saying. It's just so much impatience. Whenever something happens, like when you trade somebody, you can't get them, you can't undo it, bro. You can't, you know what I'm saying? Like you can't undo a trade. You gotta, and some of the things that people say, it's like, how are you saying this after one game, after 1 week? After, you know what I mean? Like it's insane. It's insane. People were saying he's a superstar. He's the only other star on his team other than Cade just a month ago. And now they're saying he's so, like I said, man, he does have a lot to work on. He has to slow down his pacing. Like I've been saying all year, he's got to slow down, moving way too quick. Even if he slows down just a touch, he's still faster than 90% of the league. Go ahead.
Say this. Let's take Tobias. Let's take Tim Hardaway Jr. Let's take Beasley off the board.
Okay.
Who else on this team does not have something to work on?
Right.
Including our superstar.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Even he has some things that he still got. He still has to sharpen up and work on. It's just, bro, it's like y'all are greedy. You know, so y'all are extremely greedy. Whoever it is that's talking about trade Asar, you're extremely greedy, man. That's just, I don't care who it is. If you get mad, so what?
You know what's interesting though? The guys you mentioned are all guys in the second half of their career, in the back half of their career. Guys who have already developed. Guys have had time to you can't ask for a young core of stars or potential stars and then not show patience. You can't do it. You literally can't, because you, like you said, bro, you're being greedy. You expect these guys to just go from 1 to 10 in a week. Yeah, all right.
I appreciate this so much, Shannon, because she follow my other channel, man. She be supporting for real. I appreciate you, Shannon.
Yeah, all right. I didn't see him around his kids. It's not all as advertised. No, I'm just messing around. But but seriously, man, patience has to be It has to be exercised here, man. And I can always tell who's patient and who's not by these trade rumors. I can always tell. He's trading Asar, trading Jaden for D Book, just all this different stuff. That's why I just tune that out. And you gotta focus on, those who understand that this is a grind. This takes time. It doesn't happen right away. Guys are gonna have, sophomore slumps. All these different things happen, man. This is just how it is in the NBA. Yeah. They talked about JD. He said JD should be traded. Now JD averaging a double-double. They said that Cade wasn't a point guard when he had the highest turnover games. Now he's an All-NBA player. Had you not exercised patience in those guys, you would be sick right now. If you let JD go at this point in time, and he was somewhere else, let's just say anywhere, say he was with the Pelicans doing this or anywhere else, you'd be sick. That's what happens when you are impatient.
You think Houston over there hollering about Amen Thompson over there?
Right.
You think they talking about trade him over there in Houston? No.
Right.
They're not.
Right.
It's only a certain part of the Pistons fan base, though. That's just ridiculous, man. And like I said, I don't even want to get them any more of my time right now. We just hit the 40 game mark.
Yes, we did.
And back in October, I was like, man, the Pistons gonna win 40 games.
Bro, talk about it, because you did say that.
Boy, they was coming. Like,
I'm gonna throw this back up here.
They would say all types of stuff.
Yeah.
40 wins, bro. We are at 40 wins. A complete flip around. That's how fast it can happen in the NBA when you change the culture overnight that way, man. We got the dirty coaching staff out of here. Langdon came in here and he made a great hire, and Bickerstaff took these veterans that we acquired, man, and turned this thing around. And it's just working out perfectly for us because we got a Pistons brand of basketball where we've been promised for the last 5 years.
Right.
Man, it's just great to see.
Trajan hasn't missed, bro.
No.
From coach to players, he has not missed with any of his moves. Nope. I shouted him out last game, but he really has really performed. But last thing on Asar, and we say it all the time, but the biggest ability is availability. I was talking about his fouling. He's got to get better with these fouls, bro. Like, he's playing great defense, staying in front, and then he's got a guy in jail and he's swiping. Like, why, bro? Like, he's getting greedy. He's trying to get the steal instead of the stop. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that is what he just has to work on. But he's going to be fine. I'm not too concerned about Asar right now.
He needs to learn at what point of the game that he can be aggressive.
That's you go.
The problem.
That's the key.
Because it's inconsistencies with the officiating crews that they see. Some officiating crews, they'll let Asar be aggressive as hell. Yeah. But some officiating crew, on the other hand, some officiating crews, they blowing a whistle.
Right.
So he needs to, get to a certain point of the game where he's like, okay, I don't have any fouls, man. Maybe I can get a little bit more aggressive and, try to go for the ball. But right now, we just need you to play defense and stay in front of guys and make sure that they don't get easy shots.
You said it, though. It's win. Because once you get foul number one with 11 minutes to go in the first quarter, you got to chill. Yeah. You can't have that same aggression. So that's what I mean when I say as far as the discipline. But you're right. It's time, and you got to understand time and score. Time and score.
Duran did it for the first, two months?
Who are we comparing him to?
Yeah.
Who are we saying he was just like back in the day, big man that would play great in the first few minutes and then got to go sit down? Andre Drummond.
Yep.
Same thing.
It just takes time, man. It takes time. Now you seeing Duran being that he's able to stay out there on the basketball court.
Yes.
The plus.
Yes.
And you see what happens when he's out there on the court. He's like I said, he's producing. So like I said, it's just learning curves for these guys. This is what this season is. So
that's what it's about.
Trading the students, that's ridiculous.
Yes, exactly. So it just takes time, man. It just takes time. And I think fans are saying now, when you let a whole 82 game season play out, it can reap a lot of benefits for you if you just wait. Tobias, what are your thoughts on him? He had 14, 4 assists, 3 boards, 1 steal, 7 from 15 from the field, 4 from 3, 32 minutes. Thoughts on Tobias?
Just a pedestrian night for Tobias. Like I said, you got some guys resting in our veterans, man. You can't rest all the veterans.
Right.
So Tobias was just there for support tonight. You know what I'm saying? That's all it was. The Pistons, struggled a little bit in this game to put these dudes away simply because the Pistons, let's just be honest, their mind was on the next game. Which happens. It's fine. You won the game, whatever. You made the game longer than it needs to be.
Yeah.
Fine, but
you can't keep doing that, man. Their
mind is on the playoffs, man.
Yeah, but you got to build them habits, bro. Like the game against the Mavs, the game against the Wizards. Like you can't, because in the playoffs you ain't got 82. It's 4 and you out.
Yeah,
you got to build them habits now. I don't care who you playing, bro. Like you can't afford to be trying to turn it on. Everybody's turning it on in the playoffs. Like you got to be, and you ain't playing the Wizards and the Mavericks in the playoffs. Like you got to build them habits now, bro. Like skip that looking for the other game stuff. I ain't got time for that right now.
Yeah, but JB was pissed though.
Yeah. You
know what I'm saying? He was also, speaking of Asar, he was pissed with Asar too. I seen him coach him up on the sideline.
You saw that too?
Yeah, I seen that too. But it's like I said, you can't be doing that. You know what I'm saying? You making it harder than what it needs to be.
Exactly.
Go out there, put your foot on these dudes' necks. Don't even give them a glimpse of hope.
Get
the doggone game done. You know what I'm saying? Get the outlet Waters and them get in the game and finish the game, bro.
You're gonna get to that too, yeah.
There's no reason for you dudes to still be at the end of the game at the end of the game. You know, Duran had 17 in the first half, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What are we doing?
Let's get to him. So I'm glad you mentioned him. So tonight, what did he have tonight? He was at 20. Wow, he went off, bro. 22 points, 12 boards, 2 assists. I'm sorry, 12 boards, 2 assists, 3 turnovers, 8 for 11 from the field, 6 and 9 from the free throw line, 29 minutes.
Yeah.
JD thoughts.
Shout out to JD for winning me $80 off of $5. But JD he came in and did his thing. You know what I'm saying? In the second half, they wasn't really looking for him as much.
Right.
But he came in and did his thing. He was ready to play tonight. If anybody was ready to play, it was him. You know, he came and did his thing tonight.
Yeah.
But you know, like I said, it was impressive to see those guys feed him without Cade on the court.
Right.
You know, a lot of big men be like, man, I need my guy on the court. Well, it's a team thing with the Pistons, man. Everybody would be looking for, Duran if they can find him.
Right.
And that's important, man, because like I said, when guys got to sit out, when guys potentially get injured, you want your offense to still be able to flow. It was some times out there where you seen the second unit come in with Stu, where the offense couldn't flow as usual, like it was supposed to. So that's important that these guys develop that chemistry with him as well.
Exactly. I just said that.
Especially Dennis Schroeder.
Bro, I just said that. Like this aside from Cade getting rest, it was good for the lineup shuffle. For other guys who don't usually play together to get them reps together. Because early in the game, Schroeder and JD wasn't on the same page in that pick and roll. You saw a few errant passes. The timing was off. But then you saw later on, they got comfortable. They probably had a conversation. Because Schroeder's used to a big body Stu who sets even better screens and rolling a little bit slower. You know what I'm saying? He's a little bit, so it's the timing. So I'm glad they got this. Because in the playoffs, it may happen. It may fall that way. Guys get in foul trouble, and now you got to play pick and roll with this guy instead of that guy.
Yeah.
So to get them reps in now, like you just said, is good for the playoffs. It's good to just know your whole roster has that camaraderie, regardless of who's on the court.
Yeah, you're right, man. Because I seen it was a couple of times when they ran that pick and roll, and you see Duran, he's coming out of it fast, and he's looking for alley-oop, but Schroeder is not knowing to throw it. You know what I'm saying? So those are passes that K will usually throw to him.
Exactly.
As the alley-oop. So like I said, it's just chemistry and time, and those guys, they need this time right now to play with each other.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Just in case of K get in foul trouble one game in the playoffs or something like that, you got to sit him down.
There
Schroeder
you go.
comes in.
Thank you.
You need to be able to keep rolling.
Thank you. 100%. So that's why this is a blessing in disguise, because we got to win anyway. K got to rest, they got to play together, and we got a dub. So worked out perfectly. All right, let's get to some bench guys real quick, bro. Let's go to the person who I always text you about every game. Let's get to Simone Fontecchio, right?
Mamma mia.
Fontecchio, right? So tonight he had 8 points, 2 boards, 1 assist, 3 of 6 shooting in 19. Oh, he shot 2 or 3 from 3. I can't forget that. In 19 minutes. What you think about Fontecchio tonight, bro?
Hey, man, the Italian Stallion was all right tonight, man. I ain't got nothing to say about him. You know what I'm saying? That's why I text you when I text you.
I saw he sent me this. He just sent me this, y'all. That's all he sent me.
Just do your job. Shoot, man. You know,
yes.
Like I said, man, Ron Holland found you twice on both sides of the court.
Yep.
That's your job. Run to that corner. Get open. You see Beasley running all around that perimeter. You need to do the same.
Thank you.
As soon as you touch that ball, release. That's it.
And once he sees one go in, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
It's all confidence for him, bro. Like a few times he tried to do, I text you back. He tried to do a few dribble drives. Neither of them converted, right? It's just like, bro, just move the ball. If it ain't like, if you don't have a shot initially, just move it and take off.
Yeah.
Move it and take off. Don't be trying to like the ball just gets stuck to him. He just feels like he has to just try to do something like once a game. It feels like, but aside from that, like you said, for the most part, I can't give it to him fully. For the most part, he played the way he was supposed to play, and his shot looked good when he caught it in rhythm. So, you know, and he played good defense. He always plays good defense. I got to give him credit for that. Like he does impact the game in that way. He always plays. He's not lazy. He's not a lazy defender. So I do give him credit for that. But I still feel long term we need to upgrade because even though he's playing better, he's still not to the level I would want to see. Like from last year, he's still not really there or even close to that point for me. So
yeah,
I'll take it for now because it's better than what it was.
I you know, like I said, Ryan set him up, man, and you know, he had a pretty decent night out there.
Let's get to Ryan.
Let's get to Ryan.
Get to Ryan? Okay, cool. Yeah. I got a lot to say about it. You probably do too. Yeah. So Ryan had a career high. He tied his career high tonight with 26 points. He has 6 assists, 5 boards, 1 steal on 10 of 14 shooting. I don't ever think I remember him shooting that many shots. So that's like really good to see that. 10 of 14 shooting, and he was very efficient. 1 of 3 from 3, 5 for 11 from the free throw line. Gotta clean that up. 5 for 11 from the free throw line. That's not even 50%. But that was the only black mark in 36, and I think it's a career high 36 minutes for him too. He had more than anybody on the team tonight. So that's a lot. So that's a mouthful. So what are your thoughts on the rookie, Ron Holland, tonight?
Man, listen.
Hustle Holland.
Ron Aloysius Jermaine.
That's not his name, bro.
This brother was I thought I was watching D Wade out there tonight. He was on the floor so much. Every time I looked at the TV, he was on the floor. Like, get up, man. They was trying to kill him out there,
bro. But you see him laying down on the floor?
Yeah, man. That toughness, man. You know, a couple of guys went at his head. You know what I'm saying? So for him to keep his composure, stay aggressive, like I said, out of all of those points, majority of those were at the basket.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like I said, he's developed this little floating thing that he got going on, this little short little shot, man.
Yeah.
That work. You know what I'm saying? Find things that work for you right now. You don't have to be Ray Allen right now. We can get to that one day.
Mm-hmm.
Find what works right now. He's doing that. Whatever he can do, he's doing that. You know what I'm saying? And that type of player right there, you don't have to coach.
Right.
You know you have to coach. Just go out there, Ron. Get out there, give us some energy, give us in the playoffs, it's gonna be big, man. It's gonna be huge.
He's going to be major in the playoffs. Go ahead.
It's a different type of when you're in the playoffs, especially here, you know, it's different when the crowd goes crazy when you hustling and doing stuff in the regular season. But in the playoffs, it's a whole different story. None of these young guys had that opportunity to feel that yet. Even Cade, you know what I'm saying? So to watch that, you know what I'm saying, to see how Ryan reacts to that, because he loves that.
Yeah.
Man,
absolutely.
He's gonna be huge in the playoffs for us.
Man, he does so many things that you can't scout in the playoffs. Like just intangible impact plays. And that's the word I wanted to use for him. I said last few shows, all I said about him is just impact, bro. This dude comes into the game more times than not and just makes an impact right away. Mm-hmm. Like you feel his impact right away. Like his ability to just get downhill at his size and handle, like it's already becoming a problem, bro. Like guys already can't stay with him or deal with his physicality as he's getting downhill. Like he looks very comfortable already at the NBA level, bro. Like he's way ahead of schedule. He's not a great shooter, like you say. He's not a great shooter, but he takes them when they're there. That's what I like. He takes it when it's there. Remember earlier in the season, King, you and I are both saying, man, you 0 for 4, bro. You might wanna, we were trying to pull him back from taking the shots, right? But he's not afraid to shoot it. And I think that's important because, like, you got to make teams respect you. You can't just let guys just camp out under the rim with you at the three-point line. That makes it harder for JD to get bored. So now you got to fight off 2 guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't pass up open threes if you're a wing guy. Unless you're moving it for a better shot, you can't just pass it up. You got to keep the defense honest. So I like that he's doing that. Like, he's making sure that he's playing the right way and taking the shot that's available. Like Asar would try to just burrow to the basket instead of just taking that open shot. But Holland's like, if you go give it to me, I'm going to make you pay. He may not always, but he's at least showing that he's not afraid. That's what I like.
Yeah, well, Ron is, the fact that he's starting to realize now when he attacks the basket and use that athleticism. A lot of people they don't want to contest that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So he's able to get these shots at the basket. Keep attacking, man. And every once in a while, throw that thing down. You will really get to see to open up when you coming down the middle, man.
Mm-hmm.
Keep being aggressive. They're going to foul you or you're going to make the shot. One or the other. Simple and plain.
Exactly. No, that's a very good point. And then too, like we always talk about like Ron, like his ability to be able to grab and go, right? Just grab the board and be able to push. That makes the defense hard to get set. Ron does that too, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I'm noticing he's not the rebounder that Asar is yet, but the way he's able to but he's a better ball handler. The way he grabs the ball and just shoots down the court, it makes the defense impossible to get set up. And so like his ability to do that creates mismatches, man. And he's able, and then defensively too, I'm going to say this too. Defensively, bro, he is sliding those puppies, bro. Like he can guard speedy guards.
Mm-hmm.
How many times have we seen him guarding where he's much taller than the guy he's guarding? You know what I'm saying? Like he's 6'6" guarding 6'1", 6'2" guys with ease. His length and his foot speed, it's like he's very versatile defensively, bro. Like he's a lot of things that we get from Asar, like he gives us off the bench with that second unit. It's like a uniform thing. I would hate to be offensive player, star, having to go from Asar to Ron.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, how many of these dudes they got? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's demoralizing. That's tiresome for an offensive player to have to deal with that. Regardless of who's in the game with you, it's going to be either one of these two guys. There is no drop off.
Mm-hmm.
That's because you have depth. If you're trading for stars, you don't have that no more.
It's like throwing Mad Max at you twice.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, like I say, they're gonna wear on us. That's why I want to play New York. You know what I'm saying? The playoffs, man, because simple and plain, bro. I just feel like we just match up against them so much better, man. And that's one of the reasons why. You know what I'm saying? One thing I know about a couple of players on that New York squad, they don't like aggressive defenders, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And it's from their big man to some of them guards. They don't like aggressive defenders, man. And
right.
We got plenty of it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, Ron and Asar, keep doing what y'all doing, bro. Like the fan base gonna talk. Let the little people talk, man.
Yeah.
But keep doing what y'all doing.
I'm gonna ask you a question. I'm gonna ask y'all a question. I'm gonna say it today. Like I said, this is not something I'm putting in stone, and I've never said it before. But I'm just watching Ron play, bro, and I'm asking myself, not tomorrow, not next week, not next month, down the road, because Ron is 19. Do you think it's possible that we should be having a serious conversation about him starting at some point? Maybe even sooner than later. Because I'm just looking at his whole, and this is nothing against, how I feel about Asar. I call him a star. I call him Tasmanian Thompson because he just wreaks havoc all over the place. Like, it's not even about him. It's just about what Ron brings as a body of work.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's the more complete player between the two of them right now. Asar is better in other areas than Ron, but I think just the overall balance of his game, like we talked about being able to push. I'm not really worried about Ron turning the ball over as much when he's pushing. I don't feel like he's moving too quickly as much when he's pushing. I'm not too concerned about him knocking down the three as much when he's open. I just feel like his overall game is just a little bit more balanced. I don't think he's ready yet, but at some point down the road, and we'll see, because Asar may take a huge leap too, but I don't think it's out of the question to say, or even to ask, if he could possibly be a starter for this team at some point. I don't think it's out of the question. I'm gonna just leave it there. I'm not saying he's going to. I'm just saying I'm watching him play, and we're like,
I think once he gets a pedestrian jump shot, I think we can definitely have that conversation.
Yeah,
it's gonna be room for him to start. Guys like Tobias and them ain't gonna be around here too much.
Yeah,
longer, obviously.
Yeah.
So there's gonna be spots available, and if you want them, go get them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's how much work you put in over the summer and how much you improve.
Right.
Is what's gonna tell you if you can get that spot or not. So
like
I said, the opportunities is gonna be there. It's definitely gonna be there. And if you want it, you better go get it.
Right. I love the competition though. I love that we have guys like this that you can start this guy or this guy, and you won't really be mad either way. Once again, it just shows how deep we are.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm excited about this team. All right. So yeah, man, I just wanted to throw that at you. let's get to a few more bench guys, and then you can add whatever you want after that, bro. Because I want to hear any thoughts you have aside from the box score. Let's talk about Lindy Waters for a minute, bro. I said last game when THJ went down that I thought he might get an opportunity. And watching him tonight, I was happy with what I saw. What did you think about what you saw from Lindy tonight? Let me go read the stats real quick. He had 3 points, 1 assist, 1 for 2 from the field, knocked down his only 3 in 7 minutes. Thoughts on Lindy Waters?
It was 7 minutes. It felt more like 2.
Didn't it? Yeah.
But, like I said, when he do get in the game for a blip, man, obviously the kid can shoot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I would love to see him in the game for an extended time. I feel like, it's just going to be based on opportunity for him. If he can get on the court and show them what he can do, obviously we're going to be sitting some more guys over. What, we got 10 games or something left?
Yeah, 10 more. Yep, 10 more.
10 more games. So it might be an opportunity for him to get out there and display something. But what I've seen in the short little blip of time that I've noticed, the boy can go.
Yeah.
He can go.
Yeah, he can definitely go, bro. I'm happy to see these guys getting opportunities. And like I've seen a little bit of him before he even came here. So I was really happy when we got him with Golden State. I saw a little bit of this, and he went off against us that game, the first game against the Warriors. He was going crazy, knocking down a ton of threes. But that's easy for me. That's easy for me. That's easy for me, man. Like I'm telling you, man. Like I think he's a lot better than people think. Maybe even better than I think at this point, bro. And here's what I'm thinking. Like a few scenarios. Fontecchio for sure, but let me just say this: when it comes to Malik Beasley, he's making what, $6 million this year. We absolutely got to keep him here. I think.
Yeah.
That's priority number one.
He might write if they don't, man.
Right? If on the 1% chance that he's asking for too much money, or the Pistons are getting too greedy, which is not even characteristic on either side. But I'm always thinking worst case scenario, right? If they let Bees walk somehow, it'll hurt either way. But I do think a guy like Lindy Waters will become more important at that point. A shooter. He's not the shooter that Bees is. Nobody really is. But I think that because a lot of these guys are on 1-year deals for a reason. It's evaluation time. So I'm just thinking, like, I wonder if Trajan is trying to make sure that he has all of his bases covered in the event that something like that happens, and having a guy like Lindy Waters just in case. Because he's a clip too. So I like having him on his team either way, just for depth.
Yeah, I think we'll be able to keep Bees. I
hope so, man.
He learned from his mistakes in the past with the contract situation. Bees.
Sure, that's a good point.
On a previous before the Bucks, man, he was in Minnesota. What team was that he was on?
He's been with the T-Wolves. He was with
one of those. He was
with the Lakers.
Like almost 20 points a game. One of those teams, man.
Yeah,
and
the Bucks wasn't the Bucks.
It wasn't the Bucks. I had to look it up. Whatever.
It may have been T-Wolves. Go ahead.
Yeah, but like I said, I don't think he's gonna demand too much. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying he's gonna take a hometown discount, but
right.
I don't think he's gonna demand too much. I think the feeling is mutual, man. I think he definitely loves being here.
Yeah.
At home, man. And
I hope so, man. Like he's so important to this team.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind if they double him up, go $12 million a year. I don't care.
He's like just Detroit, man.
Yeah, give it to him.
If you got a superstar, you got to have a shooter to go with him, man.
Absolutely.
So you got to pay somebody. We got some money to spend. Like I said, we don't have the biggest contract we got is Cade's right now.
Right.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't think what people think Duran is going to demand. I don't think that's what's going to happen.
I don't either.
So, like I said, a lot of these players, they just haven't had enough time on the court to demand anything.
Exactly.
And I hope they're paying attention to what happened to guys like Sadiq Bey. Don't let your agent ruin your career.
Mm-hmm.
Be smart. Be smart.
Yeah, for sure. I think this Pistons team, honestly, bro, is setting up to be like the Warriors when they had when they were really deep. I forgot the strength in numbers. That's what they called it. That was the mantra, strength in numbers. Why was that the case? Because when Steph came into the league, the ankles could not stay healthy. You remember? We were talking, ankles could not stay. He couldn't keep them ankles together. He kept twisting his ankle. And they were like, is he even going to be able to play in the NBA? Mm-hmm. So when contract extension time came, he got a very modest deal.
Yep.
And then went crazy. But that allowed them to be able to use that small contract they use on him to be able to get guys like Livingston and Barbosa and all these guys. And they were deep. I think the Pistons are kind of setting up to be the same way.
Yeah, if they keep this thing and don't listen to the fan base to keep it organically,
you know what I'm saying?
keep it organically grown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. First class Kings, the Nuggets. That's who was with. That's who you're thinking about. That's who you're thinking about. Yeah. But I think this team is setting up really nicely. Really nicely. It's like a blessing in disguise with these injuries, some of these injuries. As far as Fontecchio on Waters, I'm going Waters all day.
Yeah.
I think if you give Waters pretty much a full season, like Fontecchio has had at this point, a season and a half, if you give him that much time with this team, I think he's just as good. I think he's better. I think he's much more effective because he's a much better defender than he gets credit for, too.
Yeah.
He's not quite as big. He probably can't play the 4. But when you got a guy like Bobby Clement who's waiting in the wings.
He could attack the basket better, too.
Absolutely. He's got a much better first step. Yep. Fontecchio does not have a quick first step. That's why he can't get to the basket. That's why he's always getting caught in the air because there's no double team. Just thank you, D. Davis. You know that's my guy, bro. You know that is my guy. Those are my 2 priorities this offseason. Take care of Bees first. Pay him whatever you need to pay him within reason to get him here. Go get Naz Reid. You do that this offseason, that's all you do, I will be jumping for joy. I'll be losing my mind if they just make those 2 moves. That's it. Don't break the core up. Don't get all these crazy stars y'all talking about. No, keep the depth. Add a piece here, add a piece there. Naz Reid can be your modest impact version of the Rasheed Wallace move. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Just the guy you need to really take you to that next level. Mm-hmm. That's what I think Naz Reid can do. So, yeah, I think they all agree too. We can let Tech go. I ain't trying to say it like that, but like I am. King is. You know, King don't pull no punches.
Tech can go. He could go at the beginning of the season.
Yeah. We saw it early, bro. It just didn't look the same.
No.
Just didn't look like the same player, bro. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was the injury that really, I don't know. The surgery he had, I don't know, whatever. But yeah, man, definitely hope that Lindy Waters gets an opportunity if it presents itself because I think he could be a pleasant surprise. We got a really deep team, bro. Our team is extremely deep. Extremely deep. All right. Let's go to Isaiah Stewart. We got Stu and then we got Sasser. The last 2 guys, for sure. All right. So Stu had 9 points, 3 boards, 2 assists, 2 blocks, 1 turnover, 4-6 from the field, 1-1 from 3 in 19 minutes. Thoughts on Zay?
Zay?
Yeah.
I mean, not really.
Just doing Zay things, right?
Just doing Zay things. That's just who he is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I mean, part of that dog pound, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, I mean, like I said, our bigs, we just add one more piece to our bigs, man, our front court. Just nasty.
Telling you, man, Naz Reid, bro.
Nasty.
Telling you, man. That's the dude. That's the dude, man. Like, he played with Denver. I mean, he played against Denver last year when they came back from 20 down in game 7 on the road. Locked down. Denver blew him out. Like, who said this? What do you mean Stu fouls a lot? I don't understand.
Stu blocks a lot.
He had 2 fouls tonight, bro. What are we talking about?
He blocks a lot. That's what he does.
He had as many blocks as fouls tonight. I don't understand. 2 fouls, 2 blocks.
If you're going for blocks all the time, you're going to foul sometimes. Yeah. That's just how basketball works.
When you play defense, now if he was fouling and wasn't one of the top rim protectors in the league, we can have a conversation. This dude is one of the best defenders in the league.
Off the bench.
Off the bench. Not even just
look up the numbers.
Not even just defensive bigs, defensive players in the league. Yeah. Period.
Off the bench.
Yeah. I think that may be just a troll, bro. That's gotta be some rage bait in the comments for trying to get us engaged. All right, but yeah, Stu did, like you said, Stu did what Stu always does, bro. Like he's just Mr. Consistent. It becomes ho-hum at this point when it comes to him. I try not to look at it that way because I appreciate the effort. He's just robotic. But I want to say this too, bro. When it comes to Stu, I feel like he is one of the few players who benefited from last season. One of the few guys who benefited from last year. You might know where I'm going with this, but last year, as you guys know, as King knows, Stu played the 4. And the Pistons asked him to be a stretch big. We know that's not what he's best at. We knew then that's not what he's best at. You were saying put him in the mid-range before you go to the 3, right? So, and you were right about that. And so, but we do know that he said, okay, coach, that's what you want me to do. I've never done it in my life before. He even said, I never played power forward ever outside of the season. He always played center. Going to elementary, middle school, high school, like he always played center. At Washington, played center. So, but he went to the forward. He worked on his 3-ball. He shot 700 threes a day in practice, right? 700. So it's just like he put in the work, and we saw how his 3-ball got better. But now he's back at his original position where he's best, and now he's not asked to be that stretch 4. But guess what? In a pinch, if you need him to, when he's open, because he worked on it last year, he can knock it down. Mm-hmm. Blessing in disguise, bro. That is one of the few players that benefited from him or from that system last year, is that now he gained a skill by temporarily playing a role that he's not going to have to go back to. Now he can be who he is, and he's got another tool in his belt that he can pull out when he needs to. I love it. Worked out beautifully. Worked out beautifully, man.
Absolutely.
So,
I mean, I totally agree.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's, you can never have too many weapons in your arsenal.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Whether they wanted you to play down in the post, or if they wanted you to step out to the 3-point line, as an athlete today, all players should be working on every aspect of the game.
Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. Well said, bro. Well said. Derek Pulling, yes. Stu is a culture-shifting beast. 100%. 100%. And the Nicky, lifelong Piston, I said that. I think he's going to be one of those Udonis Haslam guys. Yeah. Where for the culture, he's just here.
We don't need, that's why, for the time when people were saying we needed Draymond, we don't need Draymond. We got our own.
Right.
He's a little bit more under control than that Draymond.
Yeah.
But
a little bit more intimidating too.
Yeah, you can tell when the Pistons call tap. You know what I'm saying? When he come in the game, you can tell he got a mission when he come in the game. You know what I'm saying? When he got to rough somebody up, because you be like, "Whoa, what the hell?" You know? And the ref, and when you see the coach ain't complaining about it, I'm like, "Yeah, somebody told him to get in and touch somebody up."
Mm-hmm. So you can see it.
Things, you can just see that. So, like like I say, those players are the heart and soul of your team.
Yes,
you gotta have them around.
Yeah,
he's big bro on the team. He's the one that you call when somebody getting unruly. Mm-hmm. That's the crazy cousin that you're calling Ron Hop.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I thought I did read the stats. I didn't read the stats. I thought I read the stats for Stu. I'll read them again. 9 points, 3 boards, 2 assists, 2 blocks, 2 fouls, 1 turnover, 1 turnover, 4 of 6 shooting, 1 for 1 from 3. So, 19 minutes. He did what he always does. Shout out to Stu, man. All right. Let's get to our last guy, bro. And I saved him for last because he deserves some love because he doesn't usually get an opportunity, right? Marcus Disaster Sasser is what we call him over here. Man, this boy hoop, bro. He was balling tonight. Him and Ryan, man. Him and Ryan were the biggest impactful players outside of JD in this game tonight, right? He had 20 points. He was a plus 18, which led the team. 20 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists, 1 steal, no turnovers, 6 for 9 shooting overall, 3 or 4 from 3, 5 of 5 from the free throw line in 26 minutes. King, holla at me, dog. Holla at me.
As a Marcus myself.
Here we go.
I was happy to call him a fellow Marcus tonight.
Man, you and these, stop, bro.
Aggressive, man. It's like somebody turned the switch on and he just got aggressive out of nowhere for a stretch. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, it pretty much helped us close out the game, to be honest. But he just got aggressive. That. You know what I'm saying? He got aggressive. And that's what you want to see, like, from Go. Like, as soon as he touched the floor, go in there and be aggressive, bro. We've been talking about that since he's been here. Ain't nothing new. And tonight you got another taste of it. Right. We just want to see it every single time. Yeah,
I got to give you credit. You've been saying that since last year. Just go in there and stop trying to be a point guard and just be you.
Be aggressive.
It seemed like they were trying to give him reps as a point. I was watching some of the sets they were running. It was just him and no other real ball handler out there. I'm like, this don't look right. It just don't look good, you know? So I'm glad that they're utilizing him now. That was like, bro, just get buckets. Go get buckets. We'll figure out the rest later. You know what I mean? And he was doing more than just that step back too that you always talk about. You always saying like, if he ain't stepping back, he ain't shooting it. Tonight he was giving us a little bit more. And even deeper than that though, like just in seriousness. Well, before I do that, let's get to this. I saw Eric, shout out to you, bro. Eric says, shout out to the Pistons and the Wolverines. Yeah, both of them are balling right now. Both of them are balling right now, man. But yeah, shout out to you, bro. But as far as Sasser, man, I want to say this, bro, because it's not easy to do what he's doing. To not have consistent minutes, to not know when your number is going to get called, to have games where you think it's going to and it doesn't. That can make you lazy at times. It's made a lot of guys lazy. They think they're going to play and then they don't. And then, man, I ain't playing this game. And then foul trouble. Hey, we need you. Oh, okay. Like with him, he's always ready, bro. Like he is a professional. He is a professional. Like he's often praised for his ability to score the ball. Yes, he's a bucket. Yes, but he stays ready, bro. He stays ready. He don't ever really get consistent minutes. But more times than not, when he comes into the game, he's getting buckets. He's making an impact every time.
It speaks to how much the game is from a mental standpoint.
Yes.
Because, like I said, what he has, his ability to score, obviously, is just natural for him to do. You know what I'm saying? The mental aspect of the game, to go out there and be aggressive from go.
Yep.
That's the part that he battles. That's that for me, look from the outside, that's what I feel.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We've seen it with multiple players. Obviously, one of the most polarizing players that we just got rid of last season, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't know when to hit the on switch.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Go play like your life depending on it, man. Every single game. This is your last game on the court. Go out there and play like it's your last game on the court.
Game 7.
I guarantee you, if Sass came out with that mentality every single game, man, we probably would never brought somebody like Schroeder around. Because he would have been able to produce so much for you off the bench on a consistent basis. You wouldn't have to go and get somebody, but we had to because he was struggling with that.
Yeah, he would. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
And we couldn't get nobody to run the offense. See,
right?
If you, that's the easy part. You know you can score. Right. That's the easy part. That's like running straight down the street.
Yeah.
But it's the other things on the side that you need to be able. Hey, it's a dog coming out the yard over here. It's this over there. You need to be able to see the other obstacles. That's the thing with him. You know what I'm saying? With Sasser, it's like, man, I gotta, set this guy up. I gotta set this guy up. It's just too much for him right now.
Yep.
Right now, just focus on scoring.
Yeah.
That's where if pitchers, I don't know what the coaching staff tell them to do, but right now, the coaching staff needs to say, Marcus, I need you to go out there and score the basketball, son.
Right. Right.
That's step one. Once you get used to that,
there you go.
We can talk about, let's distribute the ball to somebody else, run this play, find this guy on the pick and roll, whatever it is. Then we can get there. Let's do one step before the other.
And I think they were just evaluating him early in the season to see what he could do in that role. Before we got a guy like Shooter, before Jaden went down, they wanted to see if just to see, because we talked about this is evaluation season. They want to see what these guys can give you. I think they wanted to see if he could do it or to what level he could do it, and saw he's not ready yet.
He wasn't ready.
So okay, as we bring him along, as Jared Jack is on the sideline, showing him film, teaching him how to play the position over time, we're gonna have you do what you're best at. Right. And hopefully, if he can become that in a few years with his offensive skill set, he could be really good. Lillard really isn't a pure point guard, but he makes it work. Sasha, take note. Yeah. Lillard was never a real point guard. He needs to become selfish with the ball. Yeah, like tonight. He caught the ball and he was going. By the way, King, I wanted to ask you about this. You were talking about fellow Marcuses and fellow Capricorns and stuff like that. What about this?
Capricorn.
Hey, which was? I'm sorry, Aquarius. My bad. I said Capricorn. Aquarius, whatever. What about this one? What about this parallel? You happy with calling LeBron a fellow king?
What? Huh? What?
Huh? What? You can read. What about LeBron? You happy to call him a fellow king?
The only king I know is Michael Jeffrey Jordan. That's the only king I know.
Oh, so you everything Marcus now then?
I'm just saying, man.
You everything saying. Marcus? Okay, I'm just gonna call you everything Marcus and everything king. Saying, nah, I'm just messing with you. Hey, yeah, Sasser was huge. We don't win this game without him, bro. We do not win this game without him. Ron Holland, like just the depth of this team is very, very important, and it's going to be very, very important in the playoffs, man. It's going to be very, very important. Like if you go and get a guy like a Booker, you kill your depth. Now you better hope and pray that everybody stays healthy. at a time, including him, who's not getting any younger. Your core guys are never going to be all peaking at the same time because he's in his prime right now. When Cade and JD and Asar and all these guys, Ron and Jaden are hitting their prime, he's going to be out of it. So you got to consider that, especially when you know we're not going to win this year, probably not next year, maybe even the year after that. Maybe. He'll be 32 by then.
Here's the only catch to that. Because if you bring in a guy in Booker, obviously with Cade, Durant, obviously the team's going to change for the better, obviously, talent-wise.
Right away.
The only thing that I would see that would make Trajan push that button is the state of the East right now.
Okay.
The East is not in a great it's not in a great mode right now. I would say, I mean, you look at the Bucks, I mean, and Philly, and obviously the obstacle is Boston.
Mm-hmm.
It's Boston. So if you bring in a Booker, someone to match that Tatum or Brown, you know what I'm saying? That's the only reason I can see Trajan saying I'm gonna push the button. Otherwise, I think he takes the patient approach, like he is, and bring in some guys that can actually just help the team get to where they need to get. Because if you develop these guys like a Ivy, you know what I'm saying, who was developing just like everybody else this season, then you're still going to get there, and it's going to be organic, and it's going to last longer, and you don't have to worry about losing this guy, or you don't have to worry about injuries because this guy's getting old, or like I said, if you stay on the timeline where you are right now, it's flipping at the perfect time, because when these players are ready, these other guys are going to be going out.
Right.
So the timeline is perfect. Pushing the button and accelerating things right now, it's just not smart.
You better hope your other guys are ready, your young guys are ready, and you better hope you don't get hurt. That's what it comes down to. That's why I like what we have now, because everybody here willingly plays very hard on defense, bro. When have you known Book to play very hard on defense? Like, I want my backcourt to be defensive dogs, bro. We know Cade is a willing defender. He wants to be a two-way player. We know Jaden is a willing defender, even though he's not where we want to be yet. He is, and he's athletic and strong enough to stay with these guards in the East, bro. The Jaylen Browns, the Donovan Mitchell. Like, he can stay with those guys. He's strong enough, and he's fast enough, and he's long enough. Like, I'm not touching that. I'm not touching that dynamic. Yeah, he can be our Book, yes, but better on defense. He has a higher ceiling defensively, too. He's a hustler on defense. The way we see Ron or sorry, last game when I think we missed a shot and he got the steal and got the layup, like, that's the stuff Jaden does too. He does all those intangible things. You mentioned the intangible things, the things you can't really scout for in the playoffs, where he goes and gets the 50-50 ball that your guy should have got, but he got it because he worked hard. Like, those are the things that Jaden does for much cheaper, and you still keep your bench depth. Like, when we won, how did we win? It's always been unorthodox, bro. It's not doing what everybody else does. We've always had deep teams. We've always gone against the grain. When we had this team in 2004, they were saying, oh, y'all going back to the old school bad boy style? That was 13 years ago. The game has changed now. No, it don't change for us here in Detroit. We win a certain way regardless of when it is. It's just how we get it done. So I'm not touching that.
It's the biggest lie on this planet. Sports don't change, man.
Yeah.
Teams just follow trends. That's what happens.
Yep.
Because remember, it was a small ball league, and then you needed to be Golden State, and then you needed to be this team. The big man was dead in the league and all this stuff.
Yeah.
You see all that stuff come back.
Yeah.
All of it came back.
Look at these.
Like I said, there's nothing new up under the sun, man. You're going to follow. Bad teams are going to follow. Fans are going to follow what team just won.
Right.
That's why you don't hear all the chirping about the Golden State style teams anymore, because you've been looking at Denver and Minnesota and Boston, win over these years. I mean, win basketball games over these past couple of years. So you don't hear all that chirping anymore.
Yeah, everybody doesn't have the league personnel to do that. You know what I'm saying?
League is trying to sell you a product.
Right, bro.
So they're going to tell you what that's what it is. The media is going to tell you because that's their job. They're trying to sell you a product. You're the consumer.
Mm-hmm.
So pay attention to what you're actually watching out there. Basketball has not changed whatsoever.
Nope.
You had an anomaly in Golden State to come about. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. 100%, bro. So, and I like this comment too. We talk about it all the time. All the best teams in the East have size.
All of them.
All of them. All the ones that are contending.
Yep.
Boston, Cleveland, Milwaukee, New York,
why I said
Indiana.
That's why we need Naz Reid. That's why I said that's why we at least need another big.
Yeah.
We need a true big down there with Durham because teams are throwing two bigs at us.
Yes.
The old format is back.
Yeah.
Our forwards are taller than 6'8" again.
Right. And that's not taking nothing away from Tobias because he leans into the defense. He tries. He had a career high 4 blocks last game. In 14 years, he had a career high in blocks. He had 5 steals last game. Like he's trying. Like he's committing to that end, but you can't teach size.
Yeah. And everybody knows he's a 3, man. That's just what he is.
He's a 3.
He only have to play 4 when he comes to this goofy ass team. It's just he's a 3.
He's a 3. He's a 3. So having a guy like Naz, bro, to go with JD, that would be lethal, man. I'm telling you, he has a defensive mindset already. He's already played with a star shooting or star guard.
And he stretches the floor.
Got a quick release. You know what I'm saying? He just does everything. Great help side defender. Blocking, knocking. Like he just, I'm going to leave it alone. We talked about it already, but that's what King just said about size in the East, guys, and how the Pistons need to play is exactly what needs to happen. And I'm confident that, those upstairs understand that as well. Because the way they're building this team is how teams in the past have been built. You see it. Devin said Naz or JJJ. JJJ is cool, but he's not defensively, I don't think, what he used to be. Like he's not a good rebounder either. I looked it up because Eric was talking about that. He's not really a good rebounder. You said help side?
How has he been health wise over the last couple of seasons?
Health wise. I don't know.
That's my question.
I know
early in his career, he was struggling.
Yeah.
So, and like I'm not gonna sit here and tell you I follow they squad like that. I don't. So I don't know what he's been over the last couple of years. I'm
not sure as far as his health. That's another thing. I'll look that up between now and next show. But I just know he don't rebound. Organic said it, and Jerem said it. He don't rebound. So we got a guy. I don't want anybody. I said last show. I don't want anybody who's going to come here and take away from JD's his mentality right now. I don't want anybody who doesn't rebound, who's lazy on defense, to give JD an excuse to not stay at this level. I want somebody who's going to reinforce that.
I want
play that style.
Bring Pistons in here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bring Pistons players. We have a culture and a mentality. It's the same rules as Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell right now.
Right.
Simple, plain. Bring in guys that fit what we do.
Yep.
They don't fit, and then F them.
Yeah. Facts. And that's how they are now. That's like they turn people away now, which is crazy. I like this mega hustler, Naz or Sabonis. I like Naz because he's more affordable. Sabonis is a bona fide star. He's had an opportunity to prove it, and he has done just as much. Naz is playing behind Julius Randle and Rudy Gobert. He's a starter, not getting starter minutes because of the two guys. And you mentioned it, King, when you got guys who are on huge contracts, like those two guys are, you're not going to start over either one of those guys. It's just not going to happen. Naz Reid making $13 million a year. Modest in this day and age. He's got a player option for 15 next year. He said, nah, forget that. I'm opting out. I'm opting out. I'm trying to get 2025. I think we can afford that. You get Malik taken care of, you tweak your roster, see what you do or don't need. We talked about those guys, and you add them. That's what I'm doing, bro. That's it. It's not, for me, it's not even that hard.
It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy, man, because believe it or not, man, a lot of players they want to play with Cade.
Yeah. Who don't, bro? Who doesn't want to?
They want to play with Cade, bro. They watching. They see what the Pistons doing, and they know the East is weak.
Right. That's another reason why I want them to play the Knicks. Not just for the media to see, but for players to see us on a big stage. Like you just mentioned, we talked about it with the Lions. It's so many players who watch this Lions team that are stars with other teams, and they watch, they say, man, if they had me on their team.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? When you play the Knicks in the playoffs, if you beat them or even just play them tough and you see K show out against Jalen Brunson, which he's going to do, they're going to be saying the same thing. It's going to be guys watching these games saying, man, K nice. If he had me on that squad, we could do some things. You want the attention. That's why you want the attention, not just for headlines, not just for great stories, which is nice, but you want to draw attention from other players around the league. You want to make this place attractive. And you do that by having a winning culture. That's how you do it, especially guys who want to win championships. Mm-hmm. That's how you get it done. Give me the Knicks. Give me the Knicks, bro.
Yeah.
Give me the Knicks all day long. One more thing, too, because we talk about just matchups and teams going to play in the playoffs, things like this, right? I think, I look at a team like Cleveland, and they're a very good team. But I look at the size of their backcourt, and I'm like, man, I don't know if they can ever win one. Because as good as their front court that's the reason their front court is so formidable. That's why they went and got those. Why they drafted Mobley and why they got Jared Allen over there. It's because their backcourt is so small. They need backline defense because their front court, or they need backline defense because their backcourt is so small. Their biggest guard is as big as our smallest starting guard. Donovan Mitchell is the same size as Jaden. So it's like,
welcome to the 2025 Toronto Raptors. They are the regular season warriors, man. That's what they are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody scared of them in the playoffs, bro.
Yeah.
They just not. You know what I'm saying? And the Cleveland ain't fooling nobody.
Yeah.
They not coming out the East. So I
don't think so.
Yeah.
It just makes me happy, though, that we have a big team. That's why I want to upgrade to 4. That's why I don't want to make any moves. I like what we have. We got K to 6'6", 6'7", Jaden to 6'4", 6'5". Like, I want to keep that. If we have a Sarah around, whoever at 6'6" and the 3, they both play bigger than that. And we can add that 4. We got JD ascending at the 5. Like, huge team. Big team, bro. Physical, defensive, long. Like, we're good. We're good. That's where I'm at.
That's where we are. We always have that, man. We got to have that now. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's like we used to have John Sally and them to come in for the bad boys. You know what I'm saying? You had your Eldon Campbells and your Corliss Williamson.
And your Mehmet Okors and all those guys.
Yeah, your Mehmets. And you got to have that, bro. You have to have that. So,
man.
That's going to be very important for them this offseason.
I agree, man. So let's do this before we get out of here, bro. By the way, I appreciate you coming on my stream. I wasn't expecting you today. I appreciate the pleasant surprise, sneaking up on me.
Hey, man, feel better.
You already know. So before we get out of here, bro, let's go ahead and take a look at the standings and just kind of see where we sit. I think we're still in the same spot, pretty sure, because the teams above us have continued to win, bro. I'm going to pull it up here. We can share it, take a look at it. But as of right now, the Pistons have hit win 40, which is crazy to say with 10 games to go. King, you called it. So look at all the teams above us, guys. This is what I was saying. This is why if you want the Pistons to move up, they have to keep winning. They have to win games they're supposed to win. They can't lose games to the Wizards and the Mavs like they've been doing. Everybody above us has what, guys? A W. You know why? Because they are trying to get ready for the playoffs too. That's the whole point. Everybody is gearing up right now. That's why I always say this is about the playoffs. It's about the playoffs. They know it too. The Bucks have won 2 straight. Pacers won 4 straight. Knicks won 1. Boston's won 4 straight. Everybody's winning.
In 10 games, I don't see this changing. By looking at it. Maybe, like I said, only chance maybe is the Bucks. Maybe if they go on a losing streak, but other than that, we play in New York, bro.
That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at, bro.
We play in New York. That's
where I'm at. The Hawks are not catching us. They're too inconsistent. They win 2 and then lose 3, and then win 2 and then lose 3. Like they're not. They're 5 games back, guys. They're not catching us. It's 10 games to go. They're not catching us. Not happening. We're as close to getting to 3 as we are to 7. We're 5 behind the Knicks for 3, and we're 5 ahead of the Hawks for 7. So we're fine there. Mm-hmm. I want to just stay right here, bro. I want to play the Pacers are rolling right now, bro. They're rolling right now. As much as I want to say we beat them confidently, I don't know if I can say that right now. They winning these games without Hallie. They just snapped the T-Wolves 8-game winning streak without 4 of their starters. 4. So I want to leave them alone right now. I would go in like we can beat them if we had to, but I would rather not play them if we can, if we don't have to. The Bucks, you know how Giannis' whistle is, bro. We all know how Giannis' whistle is. He gets everything. And I don't want Stu to get agitated on catching a wing from Giannis and he pushing him back. I'd rather avoid them as well.
Right.
For me, it's the Knicks, like you said, bro. That's the best matchup. They're trending in the wrong direction right now, even though they just won the game. Their last 10, they 4-6. So that's the team. That's the team to go get. And from there, but if we win the first round and whatever happens after that, I'm okay. Even if we get one game and losing 5, losing whatever, I'm okay. If we win a round this season, get second round experience for these guys, gravy. It don't matter who it's against or what happens. So, yeah, man. So we'll see what happens, bro. But we'll end it there, guys. It's been a great stream as usual. Appreciate you guys showing up and showing out as you always do. Appreciate you coming on, King. The Pistons are at 40 wins, man. 40 wins. Like I said, he called it. King called 40 at the beginning of the year, and we did our predictions. I called 35. I thought I was drunk. I thought he was lifted. But he was on it. But neither of us said 2025. So I will give us credit for that.
Right.
So we'll end it there, guys. We'll see you guys post-game after their next matchup. I forget who they play at the moment. But I will see you guys then. Check your schedules. Check your calendars. We'll be here for you guys. And as always, Detroit versus everybody. Peace.